Yeah.
All right, all right. It's time for Flavor Fix on Monday. How's everybody doing? Fantastic. Wave to everybody right here. Thanks for tuning in to Flavor Fix Radio Show on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5. The Voice, bringing you the latest on Milwaukee's culinary scene. I'm your host, Samantha Starr, founder of Samantha Starr Events, where I bring people together through my love of food, art, and culture. And as always, like, comment, and share. We want to hear your feedback. If you have any questions, if you want to call us at 414-444-5250. And I have some wonderful guests here today that are excited to hear from you if you do want to call us. I have Chef David Magnasco of the Chef's Table, who is a chef and owner, and Secily Clason, who's the general manager at the Chef's Table, one of Milwaukee's most unique dining venues. And we can't wait to tell you all about it. How you doing?
Great.
Thanks for
having
joining
us.
me.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
The Chef's Table, if you don't know, is home to my first 5 years of hosting my Battle of the Chefs competition. So these are some really close friends of mine, and over the years, they have continued to support Battle of the Chefs, even though I've outgrown their space and all the things. So really cool people to have in my circle. Chef David, you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about your journey, where you're from,
Sure.
how the Chef's Table came about, your family.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do I start? Oh
I
my
know.
God. So, the Chef's Table, we're actually just celebrating 10 years this month.
Ooh,
Being open.
congratulations.
So that's pretty exciting. I've been working in the restaurant business forever. I started my apprenticeship at 14. And so
Wow.
that was back in doing country clubs and through
Uh-huh.
WCTC. And, before that, I was growing up with my mom and my sister mainly. And both grandmas had lots of influence on my journey. But my mom and my sister definitely the biggest support,
Yeah.
which has been awesome. Had the opportunity to travel all over the world. Not everywhere yet, but, and work with just amazing people. And, the fun thing about food is it's constantly changing and evolving.
Yep.
There's lots of history. You can never know everything, and there's always things to learn. And that just builds a great community.
Yeah, for sure. And you went to culinary school. You started here in Waukesha, right?
And then I went out, got my master's in Italy, in northern Italy.
Fancy.
Yes. See.
So pretty much your passion came from your family and those roots.
And it was kind of like, I came home from high school, and first semester of freshman year, and I had a list of items that I needed, and I handed it to my father, and he looked it over and said, "Looks like you better get a job." And I was like, "Dad, these are my school supplies." He's like, I'm like, "Mom's always bought my school supplies." He's like, "Well, maybe you should call her." So I went out and got a job the next day.
Yeah.
In a kitchen.
And what did that path look like for you from, going to culinary school and then finishing getting your master's in Italy, but then you came back here, or you went Hawaii too, right?
Yeah, I was in Hawaii for a little while. Yeah,
But
those were all little stints that I was able to do. A little bit in France and England as well.
Okay.
Hawaii was a little bit longer than it was supposed to be, but those were all some of the local chefs here that I came up underneath, and they said, "Look, we've got this opportunity. You can go do this for a month, 2 months.
Right.
But when it's time for you to open your own place, you got to do it in Milwaukee. But I'm going to set this up for you."
Yeah.
I'm like, so yeah, it was kind of like, and coming up through the ranks in Milwaukee, you're building relationships within the community, and it's hard to just bounce somewhere else and start all over. And it makes sense to stay where you started.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me about the Chef's Table, the space, and the love and detail that went into building this space that used to be a warehouse.
Yeah.
That is really, when you walk in, it just truly feels homey. It's antique. It's got just so many things going on and some major components that explain and tell your story. You want to walk us through
Yeah,
some
thanks.
of that?
Yeah, so it's a long story about how I got the building, but we'll talk about that another time. But once we secured the space, it was great working with well, most of the city. I don't want to say it was great all the time, but
Yeah.
Jose Perez, who's our wonderful alderman in Walker's Point,
Hmm.
really helped do a lot for us, along with the health department,
Hmm.
getting together with them and telling them what I wanted to do, and talking to the neighbors around there, and then you know, got an architect to,
Hmm.
this is what I want. Can you please draw it, make it to code?
Hmm.
Well, let's do this. No, 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 we're doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
Just draw
Right.
it. And then it's wonderful. It's a beautiful building. It's got a lot of history. um, it's 123 years old, which is pretty
Really?
cool. And so it's been a lot of things. You actually have to
Hmm.
come upstairs to get into the building. So
Hmm.
it's not at grade, but our lower level has 11-foot ceilings, and then it's
Oh, yeah.
14-foot ceilings and 16-foot ceilings. So the building has 3 floors. And I love antiquing and building.
Hmm.
I remember when
Oh my
you did your
gosh.
first event
And
with
let
us.
me tell y'all. So this guy, I think it might have been, was it year one or year two?
It was year one.
It was year one.
Yeah.
So I solicit sponsors every year for Battle of the Chefs, and I wanted, now his space is intimate. At that time, my event was 65
Hmm.
people, but I wanted a special table for the sponsors. And so I'm telling him, I'm like, is there a table that, we can move over here, and just so the sponsors can stand at this table, we can put some champagne, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't think so.
I
I'll
don't
go
have
look.
one.
He disappears completely. I don't
We
know
went
where
to
he
Home
went.
Depot.
Went to Home Depot, and he comes back and he builds a table like actual time.
Yes, me.
Oh, so this is him. But yeah, he's just, at the snap of a finger, he can just come up and create and just make something happen.
And it's fun. My father was an industrial arts teacher. My mom is an artist as well. And so growing up with tools,
Hmm.
we didn't have TV. So mostly being on my grandparents' farm, no one escapes work on a dairy farm. I don't care how old you are. So it's using tools. And so I do leaded glass. There's a beautiful leaded glass piece as the back bar. A couple of chandeliers that are made out of flatware and old pot and pan racks. And I've copper loves me, and I love copper.
Mhm.
So we have a wall of copper, couple walls now.
Yep.
And we actually had some problem with our internet, and our, so the company comes in, and he's like, well, I can tell you why you don't have a good signal. It's that copper wall right there.
Oh
And you're
man.
bouncing it around.
Oh wow.
So I love to collect. We're actually I've been trying to, I go to country clubs and other places, and go through a lot of old restaurants. They have storerooms full of things that they don't
Mm.
use anymore, and I love to go pick those areas and find items that
Mm.
should be on display. So we've got a nice culinary tool display throughout the space,
Yeah.
that people really enjoy taking a look at. Like, what's that? I'm like, well, it's a cheese calculator, but it's also for little kids' hands if they start touching stuff.
Mhm.
I'm
That
kidding,
makes
I'm kidding.
sense. So I feel like that's really what makes the chef's table unique. And you've added a lot of unique things from your travels too, right?
Mhm.
And I saw, what did I see? Cork pictures,
Cork art,
cork
yeah.
art that
Cork
you
portraits,
made.
yeah. I've done 2 now. They're what are they? 5 by 10, I think.
Okay.
With the frame.
Okay.
The first one I made of my daughter on her
Mm-hmm.
9th birthday. She's coming up on 15, going on 30. And so I use the stain from the wine out of the bottle as pigment. I sort
Wow.
the corks by color and then kind of sketch it out on plywood and start gluing them in. And so I've done 2 now. I'm actually drawing up a 3rd one right now.
Wow.
That's
I
gonna be a
love it.
stormtrooper.
I love it. Okay, Cecily, tell us about your journey and how you ended up at the chef's table and your role as the general manager.
Sure. So I started out having a small business of my own where I was helping different small businesses and local entrepreneurs that were in the wedding industry kind of get uh, their accounting and bookkeeping and organizational skills in line. And with that, I met Chef David and tried to poach him as a client. And he immediately was like, yes, I need you. I need your help.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was first day I started, he opened this roll top desk and papers just started flying out. And I opened up the filing cabinets and papers started flying out. And I was like,
God.
yeah.
I had everything.
And he poached me back and asked me to come on full time and just work with him. So
love it.
yeah.
I never knew that story.
Yeah, so I've been there ever since, 9 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were just right in the first year, almost. Yeah. She came in for an interview and we sat down, we talked, and I was like, okay, no, this is great. Came up with a plan. I'm like, so when can you start? She's like, yeah, anytime. I'm like, how about right now? And that's when she opened the desk. I go, well, this is your desk now, not mine.
The desk that's downstairs now, the big brown one.
It's the desk that's his now.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It was mine. Then it became hers.
Okay. In
now
the wood
mine
shop.
again. Yeah,
that
it's
one.
in my shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice desk. That's very what is it? 60s, 70s?
Yes. 50s roll top.
50s.
Yeah,
Okay.
50s roll top. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you each like most about working in hospitality?
I mean, I love people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of part of the build of the space was, okay, when you're working in a kitchen, you're behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a basement sometimes, you're in a back room, a lot of time there's no windows.
Mm-hmm.
And you're putting this food together with everything you have and you're sending it out there and you don't get to see the end user and how they are reacting to it. And I never really liked that.
Right.
And so the idea was, when I originally came up with the chef's table was, a lot of restaurants have chef's tables in their kitchens.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working on a country club on the north side when I came home from Italy. And, my 3rd interview, I'm like, I'm getting this job today and I'm going to put a table in this kitchen and it's going to be a new way for the members to enjoy the club in a new way.
Yeah.
And you can't have a good private club without a strong board of directors and good members and a solid staff, because it's a symbiotic relationship. And so we broke that culinary barrier down. I started bringing the members into the kitchen where they could dine.
Yeah.
And now they're learning, here's why we don't serve tomatoes and asparagus in January,
Yeah.
because they're not good here.
Yeah.
We're in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And lots of other things. But
right.
It was, just being able to have them come in and that just then kind of breeded back out into the dining room when they weren't in the kitchen. So
yeah,
that's kind of how it started. And at the chef's table now, Walker's Point, there's no wall between the kitchen and the dining room. And we're part of the event.
Yeah.
It is an experience.
It is.
You're not coming there to eat. You're coming there for an experience.
Yeah, you're gonna see.
And food's part of it.
Yeah.
and we can't throw a pan across the kitchen or start screaming or whatever, you know.
Right, because it's all eyes on you.
Right, and we don't have a walk-in cooler to go screaming either. You know?
What about you? I know you're more on the operational side, but you get your hands in a lot, I'm sure.
Yeah, I love taking the stress out of planning with our clients. I think that's one
Okay.
of my most favorite things is, you know, there's a lot of people who contact us and they don't know how to plan an event. They don't know all the details going into it, from a corporate dinner to team building to wedding planning, and just being able to like alleviate that for them.
Yeah.
I really like, 'cause it's like, don't worry about it.
That's what
we got
I like
it
too.
We got every So, you know, it's like
Uh-huh.
having all those little details covered for everyone. I appreciate.
Saturday, we had multiple functions on Saturday, and so we had a big group in the main level, and then our lower level, we have the speakeasy. We had 12 people in there. We had a 2-top in the wine cellar and 6 in the apothecary. And but during the day, we had a couple come in that got married, and they're doing, what is it, just a party for local people because they eloped.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun because they were they're young, they're in love, and they're planning this party for their friends and family, and they were like, no idea, like, well, do we have a menu we can look at? I'm like, no, what do you like, what don't you like? And we just started that. And I'm like, okay, well, let's start with the dessert. You know, we're talking about an October event, so I'm like, here are the autumn flavors.
Yeah.
You know, so we ended up with a nice soup, and then
I think we did 5 courses.
Yeah, we did
them.
5 courses, and you know, just awesome. Yeah. And like, they were like, wow, that was really fun.
Yeah.
And we would never like order any of this stuff. I'm like, well, everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah. So thinking about your travels, how does culture influence your cooking style?
So, you know, I mean, I think a lot of it is Hawaii, you know, like that was amazing. I focused in on Hawaii because I really thought it was, you know, melting pot, Asian influence on culinary arts in America, and fresh fish, and you know, so definitely got that. You know, England, totally different. And I was in London, so there's a lot there, but France, south of France, but mainly Italy, and it was regional Italian, and that's what I was studying when I was there. So I have a lot of that background, and that's my family as well.
Yeah.
So
let me jump in here for a moment for you. So one of the things that I think is really interesting about Chef's Table is that people come to us a lot of times with different ideas for menu items, or different like, you know, can we do a Japanese entree, a Korean first course, and then go into India and like Indian, and like, you know, it'll be all these different things. And Chef David is always trying to like learn those things. And so he'll find like 10 different recipes, pick his favorite things about each recipe, and then actually execute that and do it in his own style.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I think is really interesting about our space, is that we can do that and have like these like completely unique items that you can just play with.
Yeah. You know, it's fun because it's not an a la carte. So, you know, for an a la carte restaurant, which we have many amazing a la carte restaurants in this town, I think we can rival any other city. I know we can. You know, they're working really hard. They've got a menu. Whatever it is on the menu, all these items, they have to pull that off every single day, and it's got to be the same thing. You know, I love this French onion soup. When you come back, you're getting that same French onion soup.
Right.
But everything changes. All the ingredients change as you're buying them as a chef or restaurateur, and you've got to make that same dish from sometimes different ingredients. That's really hard.
Yeah.
The only thing we have to do, we don't have to make that same soup again. We have to make a soup that's going to exceed your expectations.
Right.
That's what
That's
we have
it.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to. We have to make sure it's the same always. It's never the same.
Right.
That's what makes it a lot of fun.
I like that. So, what does authenticity mean to you and your brand?
So, man, Samantha,
I'm telling you, digging deep here.
I think a good example of that is, when COVID hit, that was tough for everybody, obviously. And the health department, shut all the restaurants down. And then in Milwaukee, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks, everyone was shut down. And then it was, okay, well, all these independent restaurants have food, and that's like we need to use our food.
Yeah.
A lot of it was going home to staff members and things like that, but how can we keep these places alive? And it was, okay, we're going to open up for carry out.
Okay.
Curbside.
Right. Yep.
We don't do that. That's not our brand.
Right.
And we didn't have a lot of food because we shop for the event.
Right.
And so we don't have, $20,000 in inventory like a lot of people do. And so that was like, okay, well, what are we going to do? We've got a pasta machine that we can do extruded pasta. We can start making sauce. I sent my mom out. She was out every day for weeks and weeks and weeks, months actually, just buying jars, ball jars for canning. She's going all over the state. Menards, Home Depot, Walgreens.
We had a lot of jars.
And we had the wood shop down.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah, exactly. We had a wood shop, in the lower level. And so we built crates. We canned sauces. We made pasta. It was all shelf stable. We did an initial run of like 275 crates that sold out in a day.
Wow.
And then we did another run. And so instead of, like we're event based. Right. So we couldn't do that. So we did something else instead.
I love that.
And now, and that was Pasta de Maddalena.
Yep. And that was going in. We might as well go into it because my next question was going to be the story behind the pasta brand.
And that is the story behind it. So, in our entire restaurant was sheet trays, feed racks, the entire table, just pasta drying everywhere, canning going on, crates being made in the lower level. We were able to keep the entire staff.
Wow.
And keep them moving. And, we did all of our own labeling, the nutritional information, everything. And so, yes, it's Pasta de Maddalena. Maddalena is my daughter's name. So it's pasta from Maddalena. And now we actually come out of this with a whole new brand. And we didn't mess with the chef's table at all.
See?
So now we have a new company that's going to outpace probably the chef's table in the long run.
Okay. Well, we're going to learn more about this company when we come back from the break. Flavor Fix on WNOV 860 AM 106.5 The Voice. We'll be right back.
Tell me what's your flavor? Time for new flavor. Yeah.
If you're looking for mouth-watering eats and delectable treats, look no further. Eat local and visit the Sherman Phoenix today, where you can find everything from delicious organic wings and smoked barbecue to satisfyingly seasoned vegan food to sweet, buttery, made-to-order desserts. The Sherman Phoenix is also home to a day bar, serving mixed, frozen, and tropical drinks. Experience the Sherman Phoenix effect at 3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue, open Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Visit theshermanphoenix.com to learn more.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Looking to leave a lasting impression? Look no further than Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. With over 25 years of experience, we're your one-stop shop for all things printing. Whether it's custom invitations, banners, apparel, or high-quality on-time funeral programs, we've got you covered. Planning a family reunion? We'd love to help. Visit our website at greatimpress.com or give us a call at 414-536-7646 to start your next project today. We're here when you need us.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Get ready, Wisconsin. The Black Child Development Institute is expanding its village statewide. Join us for an unforgettable evening of celebration and empowerment at our gala on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 at the Hilton Milwaukee City Center. Tickets are available for $150 per person and sponsorships are available. Adorn yourself in formal African attire as we celebrate this momentous occasion and the growth of our village. For more information and to purchase tickets, call 414-236-5641 or visit bcdi-wisconsin.org. That is 414-236-5641 or bcdi-wisconsin.org. Don't miss out on this unforgettable event. Together, let's build a brighter future for Wisconsin's children.
Brownstone Social Lounge, Milwaukee's premier downtown social lounge for good vibes, good music, and good food. Offers all-day happy hour every Tuesday and Wednesday. $6 wings, $8 flatbreads, drink specials, and more. Essential Tuesdays. All essential workers receive 10% off their purchase with proof of ID every Tuesday. Kick back with R&B karaoke Thursday beginning at 7 p.m., followed by Throwback Thursday. Brownstone Social Lounge. Great food, great drinks, fresh hookah, located at 524 North Water Street.
Hello, this is Michelle Pitts of the New Pitts Mortuary. Tune in daily to our morning gospel hour, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 a.m. I am personally inviting you to join us for an hour of power, as my dad would say. And most importantly, remember us, the New Pitts Mortuary, in your time of need. We can be reached at 414-447-6000. The New Pitts Mortuary.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
What's your flavor? What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor?
Now, back to Flavor Fix with your host, Samantha Starr on 860 AM and 106.5 FM.
All right, we're back with Chef David and Cecily from the Chef's Table over in Walker's Point. If you were tuned in the beginning, we learned a little bit about Chef David's culinary background as well as Cecily's, and we were just getting into pasta de Madalena, and Chef is going to tell us about some new things happening with that brand.
Yeah,
whatever you can share. I know.
Yeah,
you know.
So we're rebranding. So we've kind of pulled back a little bit. We've gotten new equipment to scale it up. Our little machine that we started with that I had during COVID could pump out about 20 pounds in an hour, which is not a lot. That thing was going around the clock. And so we got a new machine that can do 500 pounds in an hour.
Okay.
And a dryer, so it dries faster. And we got some other bigger equipment to make the sauce as well. And we've worked with Zizzo Group with Anne and her team,
Nice.
and they helped us rebrand, and we're getting ready. We're close to finding a space. We've got a nice business model, and we're hopefully going to launch that before the end of the year.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
I got chills.
We will keep you posted.
Come a long way. And I love just seeing how it evolves and continues to grow. And
Yeah, super fun.
So what's your favorite type of pasta to make?
Well, it's like with the dry pasta, your fresh pasta, which is flour and egg. And then you have dry pasta, which is semolina and water or a juice or your powder. And you can make different colors and flavors. This way you can add some nutrients as well to the pasta. That is air dried or dried in a slow oven. And we blend those together. So our casareche DHA is the casareche is the shape, and DHA there's 10 different flavors in there. So that's a favorite. It's got a nice mouthfeel. It doesn't necessarily need a sauce, but because of the shape, it can hold one.
Okay.
And you can pretty much put anything on that. I do, however, love making raviolis and other different shapes.
Raviolis.
Yeah.
Tortellini-inis.
Tortellini-inis.
What?
Oh my gosh. So
Those are my favorites.
Is that a real name, or did y'all make
no. So it's very, very small. Tortellini-ini.
Well, how big? Like
Smaller.
Yeah.
They're
oh
like
my god. Oh my god.
like a pea.
Okay.
A little bit smaller
Is
than a
it?
pea.
Oh my
yeah.
God, see
And
that.
they're stuffed.
They're stuffed.
Yeah. So you punch it out with a little cookie cutter, like the smallest one.
Okay.
And just a little dab of filling, and then you fold it closed, and then you wrap it. We take a skewer and stick it into extra pasta and kind of wrap it around and pinch it and then pop it off.
Wow.
And those are great in like a consomme.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Or a burrito.
Yeah, I can see that
Yeah.
because they're so tiny.
Yeah. They're so, and they eat really well too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Little Brunoise mirepoix and those, and
yeah,
a nice broth.
Do you have any memorable? Not do you, because I know you do, but what has been like, I guess, a memorable experience even during your training in Italy? Can you share a little bit about, I guess, that experience, or memorable culinary moments while you were in Italy?
Yeah, it was. It was tough because I was practicing my Italian before I went, but I was in the north, and the Italian that we learn here is from Florence, which is when television started broadcasting from Italy, it was from Florence.
Okay,
and so that's the Italian that we learn, and so it's similar, but it's a little different dialects, and the verbs are impossible for me. So the biggest thing was definitely the language barrier, but you're standing at a station that you have a couple of burners and everything else, and there's 14 students, and the instructor's right in front, and I was right in front of him, and so basically it's like listening to what he's saying but just watching what he's doing,
right,
and recreating the dishes that they're showing basically.
Nice.
And that was we stayed, that was in Cosignola di Asti, and it's an old Roman stronghold, and it's the Italian Culinary Institute for foreigners.
Okay.
And it's in a castle at the top of the mountain.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a little piazza with the Duomo, and then one little street of shops, and then it's all Nebbiolo grapes with a switchback going in and out on the road.
Beautiful.
And so you have a culinary school there. Also, the Carabinieri school is there, which is the one of the police.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So you had people in white chef coats with knives, and you had people in blue coats with Uzis.
Two different extremes.
Which was always fun.
I'll take the chefs.
Right. That makes sense.
But so we actually stayed a little bit down the mountain a little bit where the old stables were for the castle that they turned into housing for the
okay.
culinary students. And, you know, in the winter, you know, like my mom, a lot of parents, I used to have to walk to school 2 miles uphill, both ways, all of that. Well, I had, after, you know, I'm walking up to school, you know, and change.
And how old were you at this time?
I was 35, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, you know, you're at school for 10 to 12 hours, and then you have to walk back down in this ice and these cobblestones. And I called my mom, like, walking home down the mountain is harder.
I bet.
But yeah, it was obviously a great experience, and you know, but you're stuck in town. You know, I mean, it was study, wash your chef coats, and you know.
Got it.
But it was nice too. We had a lot of field trips, so we got to, you know, we went to Lavazza Coffee Company and got the whole tour there, and we're trained as baristas on a bunch of different machines there, like 60 different machines where they have setups where there's a coffee grinder and also the machine, and you'd have to calibrate, and so that was neat. We went to, you know, a lot of rice is grown in Piemonte, so we went to some rice fields, Carnaroli, and other rices that are for risotto. Also Grana Padano factories, lots of vineyards.
I can imagine.
Yeah, so all of those trips were really fun as well.
I'm sure.
And then there was a stagiaire afterwards, so you got coupled with a restaurant. And I was lucky enough to get to be put in Elba at Dulces Vitas. And I mean, Elba is a cute little town. It's, you know, like a mini Milan, super fashionable.
Okay.
And a lot of walking streets, and that was really fun.
Nice. I can't wait to get over to Italy. So tell us about the team that keeps the chef table going, how you all work together during events. You know, I know you host in the main dining room where the chef's table is, but you might have a group in the wine cellar. You might have 2 people there. You might have a group in the speakeasy. How do you all work collectively to ensure a nice flow of a busy service day like that?
So, you know, we'll have, you know, different captains in each location. There's a lot of word of mouth. We don't have a point of sale system. We have different menus in each place. We'll try to do similar menus or similar menu items if we can use whatever's at the main table, which seats up to 32. We'll try to take as much of that menu and use it in the other places as well. And then it's a lot of, we got the menus taped down in the kitchen, and when courses go out, we're writing what time they went out, checking them off, and the servers are coming, you know, in and out of the kitchen, whoever the lead is, saying, hey, the main is, you know, halfway through their first course. And then, you know, we're trying to plan, you know, what are we going to go on next? From which room? Can we link them up? Where all of a sudden, you know, I mean, the two top will catch up to the big table even if they're sat later, because there's only 2 of them. Right. It takes longer to clear the big table. So it's pretty fun. It's a delicate dance.
No walkie-talkies, huh?
No walkie-talkies.
Just quick feet. Quick feet. And so how large is your staff right now?
We have 32 on staff right now.
Okay.
Which, you know, it kind of hovers, usually we're around 28. So we're staffing up a little. We have a couple new people. We've got some stagiaires coming, a couple people coming from Colorado because they're in their off season right now.
Oh, nice.
And you know, we travel, my wife and daughter and I travel out to Colorado a lot because they like to ski. I like to spa.
You like this? I was just about to say you don't like to ski.
So, but we go out every night, and we've been going to Breckenridge for since Madalena was born, and so we know all the restaurant tours and the chefs, and sometimes I'll even put a coat on and jump in the kitchen for a day at different places.
Oh, nice.
Which is fun because
Yeah.
my friends own the restaurants or
And
their
I'm
chefs
sure they're
there.
excited to have you.
Oh, it's so much fun, and that and it's constantly learning new things.
Mhm.
And then we'll go there for dinner.
Yeah.
But it's that's a lot of fun. So we have got 2 people coming, hopefully for a couple of months from there.
Okay.
While they're while they're between seasons,
Right.
They can come and play and learn some new things, and then they'll go back out.
I love that.
Yeah, we're trying to get more of that.
Yeah. I think that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, I know of some restaurants who are doing that too. Chef Gregory at Amalinda,
Right.
He's there's always somebody different in his kitchen,
It's
and
classic.
I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's awesome.
So tell us about, you have so many wines.
Yeah.
I know you collect some and bring some from travels, but you're a big wine seller. How many wines are in there? Do you know?
We hover around 5,000 bottles is where we try to keep it at.
And who are, you
So
have,
we have
distributors.
Yeah, so the distributors,
Okay.
And Philip, who's our Sam.
Yep.
And
Philip's awesome.
he
Hi, Philip,
is-
if you're watching.
He and I taste 50 to 70 wines a week together with the distributors.
What day are those made?
I'll text you.
Most days. But they'll come in with 12 to 15 bottles usually, each of them, and we're going through, and we won't buy anything without tasting it. We don't have a wine list. We have a wine inventory. And we pair each course with wine.
Right.
We're typically 5 courses, 5 to 7 courses. So we'll do normally 4. If it's a 5 course, we'll do 4 wine pairings. Unless they want to do a wine with dessert, then we'll pair a wine with a dessert as well before we do coffee service.
Okay.
So yeah, which is really fun, and it's great tasting with Philip and all our purveyors, because we're all thinking about different things. I'm like, what would I cook to this to match it?
Right.
But I always say, like, you've got a plate of food in front of you. Whatever is in the glass is 50% of what's going to happen on your palate. So if you got a cheeseburger and a glass of water, or a cheeseburger and a cola, or a cheeseburger and a Cabernet, it's going to be different.
Everything's going to be different.
Everything's going to change on your palate. And so that's what we try to do, is what's going to enhance what's on the plate.
Yeah. What has been one of your favorite wine and food pairing combinations, which I know you have thousands?
Yes.
Maybe something recently, or one thing that people raved about the most?
I love rabbit and Nebbiolo. So Barolo or Barbaresco with rabbit. I love fabricating and cooking rabbit. I'll tell you a story.
Uh-oh.
She's saying no.
Uh-oh.
So, like, rabbits and cats look similar.
Oh, gosh. I don't want to hear if you cook the cat.
I'm not cooking cats.
Oh, okay.
No, but I was doing a dinner, and I was fabricating these rabbits, and, 2 liquor delivery guys came in, and I'm like, and one of them goes, what is that? And I'm just scared, cat.
Oh my God.
And drops the stuff, goes out the door. And the next guy's standing there, and he's watching me for a little bit, and he comes up, he's like, cat? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, what's it taste like? And I go, kind of like dog.
Oh my god.
I've never seen someone run out so fast. So my new friend Beverly, because I just got in the chef position there, goes, Dave, you gotta go out there and tell them you're kidding, or we're gonna have fox sticks up in here.
Right. Oh my gosh, not cat. Of all the
rabbit.
Rabbit.
Rabbit is delicious.
Yeah. I don't know if I've had rabbit. Oh my gosh. So
good.
You have the speakeasy, which is newer.
Yeah.
What was your thought process? Like, when did you realize that you wanted to have that addition downstairs, that exclusivity, that exclusive bar and small intimate setting below the main dining?
So it was always kind of when I found the space, I was like, 11-foot ceilings in a basement in Milwaukee is unheard of. We got to use this.
Right.
You know, at that time, there was 2 inches of water on the floor, lots of rubbish, you know, scrap. I took 6 dumpsters worth, contractor dumpsters worth of rubbish out of there, 7 tons of scrap steel just out of the basement.
That's the basement.
And then we cleaned and retuck pointed the walls. We put drain tile in, 2 sump pumps, and I mean, it's like bone dry down there.
Yeah.
You know, so it was always kind of the plan to do something down there.
Yeah.
And, you know, the first thing I did was build the wine cellar. And I'm like, we're not going to just build a wine cellar. I want it to look like a shop, like a European shop. And I've always loved the streets of old Milwaukee at the Public Museum.
Yes.
And so we modeled that entire lower level after the streets of Milwaukee.
Definitely that vibe.
Yes. Right. We call it the red light district of the streets of old Milwaukee.
Okay. Cecily's like, okay.
Maybe I call it that. Nobody else does.
We call the lower level.
Lower level. I'm sticking with the lower level.
So yeah, you know, then it was designing the speakeasy and then, you know, the apothecary, and then we've got the post office and Cecily and Lisa's office. So it's just been kind of build it out.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. It's a fun space.
Yeah. So your wine cellar is 2 people.
We can do 4.
Or you can do
there.
4.
Yeah,
in
2
the
to
wine
4.
cellar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
but
we
typically
can do
2s.
2 to 4 in the wine cellar. We have our apothecary where we can seat up to 8, and then the speakeasy is up to 20.
Right.
And then we have a couple other little areas that we can seat, but they're a little bit more like eclectic in a way and a little bit more open. But those are our private areas. The other areas we seat after that, and then our main space we can seat up to 70 for seated dinner and 150 for cocktail reception.
Okay. Nice.
And then we have the courtyard in the summer.
And then the courtyard in the summer.
God willing.
Yes, it's beautiful back there. Man, the updates have come a long way. So do you give open tours?
You want to talk about that?
So if someone's planning an event or they're interested in planning an event with us, we can certainly set up a tour for them. We have done like doors open in the past where we've done ticketed tours and like historical tours of the space. But in general, if someone's interested, they can just email the general sales email. It's on our website and set up a tour.
Okay. Everybody needs to see it. It's just
and you know, it hides in plain sight. Most people don't know.
No,
there's no sign.
Right.
The door's locked.
Right.
Our advertising's not the best. Whatever.
Word of mouth.
So what have been, and I know that, you know, each menu is different, but what has been, I guess, something popular amongst guests at the chef's table, like meals that folks have just walked away raving about and telling all their friends?
I think that one of the things that we're looking to get back to that we've done in the past are doing some of our public events.
Okay.
Where Chef David is really able to like kind of dive into a different like wine region and prepare foods from that region or different cultures and prepare food from those different cultures and do that kind of thing. And that's like what we've heard a lot of really positive feedback on because we're just able to get really creative and do anything for the menus. Besides that, I think that people just they enjoy having the experience of having 3 to 5 courses where it's a course out menu where every dish is completely thought about, whether it's like starting off with like a soup or a salad, going into pasta and fish and your main entree and dessert, and having those wine pairings with it. Just it really elevates the experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Also, we've done the murder mysteries dinners, which is really fun because Cecily actually puts those together. We don't have actors that come in.
Yeah.
The diners are the actors, and
okay,
they're all there. It's a themed thing. They're in costume. They get their information ahead of time in the mail, and they're very popular as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
What's on your bucket list? Anything culinary related?
I mean,
or personally?
You don't want to dig into that.
We can stay in a safe zone.
I think that we've really always wanted to experiment with some of the video mapping that's been going on and incorporating that into the dining experience because there's a lot that's going on with that tech aspect that can be related to food that would elevate the experience as much as the dining.
Yeah, that could be fun. And as we look at properties, while we've been looking at properties, because we've looked at probably 60 properties now. When I bought the building for the chef's table, I was like, oh, it's huge. It's 11,000 square feet. Well, we're busting at the seams.
Yeah.
And so we definitely want to find a bigger place that we can grow into with some, not just the pasta.
Yeah.
So where we could do a pop-up spot and do these other things that we've been wanting to do.
Right.
Without interfering with our regular service.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That was perfect timing. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back to hear about some of the fun events that they have coming up.
What's your flavor?
Brownstone Social Lounge, Milwaukee's premier downtown social lounge for good vibes, good music, and good food. Offers all-day happy hour every Tuesday and Wednesday. $6 wings, $8 flatbreads, drink specials, and more. Essential Tuesdays. All essential workers receive 10% off their purchase with proof of ID every Tuesday. Kickback with R&B Karaoke Thursday beginning at 7 p.m., followed by Throwback Thursday. Brownstone Social Lounge. Great food, great drinks, fresh hookah, located at 524 North Water Street.
Carter's Creations, when quality and service matters for any occasion. Sometimes you just want to send a floral arrangement for a get well, anniversary, birthday, or I messed up, or just because. Carter's Creations at 1727 West Hampton Avenue is the place you need to call. So call them today at 414-265-1727 or visit them online at carterscreations.com. Carter's Creations has been in business for over 30 years. Therefore, you know they know what they're doing. They also specialize in funerals as well. So when you need that special floral arrangement, think of Carter's Creations, when quality and service matters.
If you're looking for mouth-watering eats and delectable treats, look no further. Eat local and visit the Sherman Phoenix today, where you can find everything from delicious organic wings and smoked barbecue to satisfyingly seasoned vegan food to sweet, buttery, made-to-order desserts. The Sherman Phoenix is also home to a day bar, serving mixed, frozen, and tropical drinks. Experience the Sherman Phoenix effect at 3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue, open Tuesday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Visit theshermanphoenix.com to learn more.
Hi, my name is Tamika Vukovic, co-executive director of Wisconsin Voices. Please join Wisconsin Voices every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We will be focusing on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
All right, we are back with Chef David and Cecily from the Chef's Table. I want to know, do you have anything special coming up? Any events?
So if you check our website, there is a link on the menu bar for joining our mailing list.
Okay.
We will be starting to promote some of our public events. We're going to start getting back to those, which would be sign up events that people can sign up for, which you get to come and actually dine with a bunch of other people with a thematic concept.
Right.
Otherwise, we do have our dinners for 2, 4, 6, or even like up to 70. So if anyone is interested in just coming to see the space and touring it, we love giving tours. We love like sharing a glass of wine and getting to know new people. And we would love to do that. And anyone can reach out to us on the sales email. It's on our website.
So I know you mentioned the murder mystery diner. Give us another example of ticketed events that you all might host. Or
we've done
wine tastings or
wine dinners. Yeah,
wine dinners.
Thematic wine dinners is a big one that, that's kind of how we started off, selling tickets for seats at the table.
Okay.
And so we'll get, typically a wine maker when they're coming to town, we'll try to book it up with them.
Okay.
We have a luncheon tomorrow that's already sold out, but that's a champagne lunch.
Oh, okay.
With a winemaker that's coming from Champagne.
So I need to join the mailing list because I didn't get no invite for this.
That one actually sold out before we were even able to promote it.
You didn't tell me. So you told us how to find you on the web. What's the website?
It's www.chefs-tablemke.com.
Okay. And where else can they find you? Or social media?
Yep, we're on Instagram and Facebook. The Chef's Table MKE.
Chef's Table MKE. Give us one piece of advice or a pro tip. Or just anything that you might want to share for a peer in the culinary industry.
So keep your knife sharp.
Keep your knife
you're
sharp.
gonna cut yourself with a dull knife, not a sharp knife. You're trying to force that knife to go through something it doesn't want to go through, and it's gonna take a bad turn.
Oh, there you go. There you have it from the man himself, Chef David. Well, thank you so much for joining
Samantha.
me. I will see you all next week on Flavor Fix with Samantha Starr on WNOV 860 AM 106.5 The Voice. Good night.
Ciao.
Tell me what's your flavor.